5 months before last September, my daughter started getting really bad headaches. And then that would be followed by vomiting. And she's not a complainer, this child. Then about 3 months later, she started saying that she was struggling to see the board at school. And maybe like sometimes her eyes were going a bit blurry. So then we went to see the optician, and I've worn glasses my entire life, and so has my son. So I was watching the optician thinking, you're doing some strange things, I've never seen that before. And the optician sat at her desk, wrote a note and said, I'd like you to take this to ED for me. So I actually, being English, I knew what ED was, but when somebody says that to you, you cannot think straight. I literally had to ask her and said, you mean that? She's like, yes. And straight away, I just thought, oh my gosh, something really, really bad. And then once we got in, straight away to have a scan. Then once we got the scan, it was literally all hell broke loose. So they saw what they called then a mass behind her eye. And then we were transferred from Southport up to Brisbane Children's Hospital via ambulance. So that was our first trip in an ambulance. Even took a photograph of it. I said to Eva Ray, it's first time in an ambulance, let's take a photo. So Eva Ray was facing me and I was facing the driver. So he actually put me to work, which was really great. And he was just telling me to read her signs, so read the numbers on the machine, which was, I have to say now, it was just incredible, because had he not put me to work, I really thought I might lose the plot. My daughter's sitting there, we are petrified, we have no idea what's going on, we just know that there's something in her brain. And this paramedic was just awesome. Asking Eva Ray, where did she go to school, what was she doing, what was she studying, did she know what she was going to be when she left school? So that was really great. But I think more than anything, as her mum, to be kept busy, that was for me the biggest thing. And you don't realise when you're in it, you just realise that you've got to hold on to your nerve, really. So when we arrived at Brisbane Children's Hospital, again it was all a bit crazy. He was very nice, the paramedic, and wished us all the best. And one thing he said that I really liked, which was really cute, he said, I hope I never see you again, which made me and Eva Ray laugh, because it was just like, oh, that's not very nice, but of course it was his best intentions, and it made us laugh, which was great. We were in the hospital for weeks. She had 2 surgeries, and in that time found out that it was a brain tumour about the size of a golf ball, that it was inoperable, and we had a biopsy done and then found out that it was benign, thank God. We were home 2 days, and she wakes up in the morning, calls me from the bathroom to say, Mum, I can't see. I've lost my sight. I can't see. I'm blind. Well, this is just 2 days coming out of hospital. The paramedics came, the ambulance came, and they were so calm and so cool and made us laugh and snapped me out of my terror, I think that's all you can call it, is terror. And then off we go into the ambulance again. And when you get to a new hospital again, you're so uptight, you're so petrified because you don't know where you're going, what you're doing. She'd regained her sight by then. So there was a team, the neuro team were waiting for her. And we said our goodbyes again. And I have to say, I actually did ask if I could hug them. And fortunately, they said yes. And honestly, it started a conversation actually after that time with Eva Ray about she never knew what she wanted to do with her life. No idea. She thought about criminology at one point, about something else. She had no idea really. And then she was saying, maybe I'll be a paramedic. Going on to the next ambulance, which took us back home. And again, it was just the care was amazing. But it's hard to explain, because I think that if as a paramedic, if you are too kind, I think I would have fallen apart. You know, it was just the right level. They weren't getting emotional. I think that was really important. They were caring, but they weren't getting emotional. And I think that comes, you know, with not just learning the job as a paramedic, it's life. It's being who you are as a person and realizing that right level that you need to be with a parent of a very sick child. And also the child, you know, just keeping it even, I think that's it, so that the parent doesn't lose the plot, which of course then the child is, or the parent doesn't think that you don't care, because we need that at that moment. We need someone to care. I don't think either one of us would have been able to cope had we not had the care from all of the medical team, but the initial people that you see are the paramedics. They're the people that are your first point of call when you're absolutely terrified, you know. And honestly, if it hadn't been for them, I know I wouldn't have been able to be the mum that my daughter needed. So that's kind of where we were at. And then everything was going really well until 3 weeks ago. Actually, she was getting very, very fatigued, and we're not understanding why, because she should be getting less fatigued instead of more fatigued. And one evening, she called me and was clutching her head again and just saying, "Mum, I've got that headache again, I've got that headache again." So what had happened, her second operation in hospital was to have a shunt fitted in her head. So the tumour's behind this eye, pressing on her pituitary gland, which is your hormone gland. What had happened is the shunt had become blocked with protein. So again, another ambulance with a male and a female paramedic. Lovely, lovely, lovely people. And Eva Ray and the female, I can't remember her name, she did tell us, paramedic, were having a nice little chat as well. So that was really nice. And yeah, we ended up back in hospital again, but only for 3 days. Had a massive operation. And it's been now 3 weeks, so we're touching wood that the shunt's gonna work, and that's the last operation.
That looks good, so it was definitely changed well.
I think the human element is massive. I really do. You know, now that I've had that much experience, the human element, if they had been super cold, just professional and left it at that, I know for sure I would have lost the plot. I know it, and you can't do that as a parent. You have to be strong for your child. You have to be. You know, when you're in a situation where you have no idea how you can even breathe as a mother, you know, and all of a sudden somebody's taking care of you. Somebody's taking care of your child, and you're in that ambulance and you've got all these machines and all this medical stuff around you. You've got very capable people. You know your child is going to be taken care of no matter what. And as a mum, I know that I would have to step back, even though I'd want to hug my daughter. I'd have to step back and let them do their job, because that's what they're trained for. But looking after me as well, it was huge. And those paramedics to us saved us. And it's not because they were technical, it's not because they were medical. I expect the paramedics, I expect them to do that job. That's what I expect from them. I expect if my daughter's numbers went crazy or whatever, she had a stroke, because that's what can happen for her. I expect them to know what to do. And I will stand back and I will let them tend to my child. I expect that from them. What I didn't expect was that care and kindness, and that made the difference. We've had such beautiful care, and human people that work under stress a lot, and they've just cared for us. And we'll be forever grateful, and we'll never forget them, ever.